Hi, good morning everyone. We are a group from Hakao. Hakao stands for Hao, Adrian, Chris, Alex, and Wei Yi. So for this video, we are going to talk about Indochina Plantation. So we are analyzing the pros and cons of Sandabi, who is going to develop a new rubber plantation plant in Attapeu province, Laos. In this video, we will first talk about the issue at stake, which will begin from ethical issue. Corruption affecting the community life, illegal use of land, and environmental damage are the example of ethical issue that may happen in the Attapeu province rubber plantations. In the aspect of corruption, the key Politburo members of Laos Revolutionary Party may be involved in corruption with our colleagues. According to Schroeder, 150,000 of hectare of land is given to the private investor and inconceivably low price due to corruption. The next ethical issue is affecting the community's life. When the land previously lived by the communities are given to the private investor for rubber plantation purpose, it means that the communities will lose their home. Besides, they also lost their food, as previously they depends on the food collections such as mushroom in the forest. The third point will be illegal use of land. Also, according to Schroeder, some of the private investors who get the land concession from the Laos government are not developing the land into rubber plantation properly. They are focusing only on the high quality of timber. Hence, illegal logging is happened just to export the high quality of timber out from Laos and not developing the rubber plantation. While for the last point of ethical issue at stake in Indochina plantation is environmental damage. In order to develop a new rubber plantation, it means that the deforestation may be occurred. It may cause extinction of flora and fauna, and pesticide is used to ensure the good quality of rubber plantation will cause environmental damage and pollution to the land and river.
In the perspective of managerial, in the perspective of managerial, in the new rubber plantation at Attapeu province, the local Laos worker and Cambodian laborers will be involved. The complexity of the organization structure may cause different problems to the Sandabi plantation. For instance, Cambodian labor will be the main heavy-duty workers and the Laotians will be the auxiliaries. This makes Sandabi plantation has low controlling power despite they are owning 55% of equity. It causes Sandabi plantation will get the updates and the progress of activities late, which might affect the future decision made without the analyzation and the actions from the side of Sandabi plantation. Moreover, the communication barrier is considered as another issue of this venturing. This is because the venture is comprising of the people from 4 different countries, which they are more fluent to their own national languages. This barrier causes the people involved hard to communicate with each other, which might affect the efficiency and effectiveness of the company. Last but not least, corporate social responsibility is another issue arise in this venturing. The switching of the forest into rubber plantation may affect the livelihood of the locals, as the locals are depending to the foods from the forest. Hong An Gyalai has contributed a lot to the Laos, hence Sandabi plantation should include corporate social responsibility in their building plan as well as the budgets involved in ensuring the incomes increases.
The environment of Indochina is mostly mountain. The climate in Indochina is monsoon tropical climate. In Laos, there is only 20% of the land is considered lowlands, so majority of the people is living in mountains area and rural hilly. The local community is highly depending on the forest and river for their spiritual well-being, culture, and also the physical. But Laos governments are encouraging the rubber plantation. The expansion of the land for plantation has made the conflicts to the local community. So from the environmental view, whether and the location is suitable for rubber plantations that can generate more revenue for the company with discounted land price. But the environment is not the only criteria to consider for the venturing. The decisions should also consider local community and environmental pollution problem. After that, for the political, there is only one party in Laos, which is Laotian People Revolutionary Party, that formally control the Laos. When there is only one party, the probability of the corruption is very high. But on the other hand, the community party in Laos is not active. So Laos is politically stable and it leads to the peace of the country. In Samdabi venturing at Laos, they may face the corruption, but political is very stable. So lastly, for the markets, the demands for rubber is okay. So now in the market's view, the demands for the rubber is remain high. According to the Malaysian Rubber Growth Manufacturing Association, rubber market is expanding to keep going by 15% annually. Rubber growth is the essential item in healthcare industry, so it is remain have strong needs until the future. United States and China are the world's largest importer of the rubber growth, followed by Europe. The top 10 countries that consume rubbers is USA, China, India, Thailand, Brazil, Germany, Russia, Japan, Indonesia, and also Malaysia. Samdabi should have a good investment strategy that increase the supply with the distinctive products that suits the customer needs. Samdabi should allocate greatest resources and investment in the rubber industry. So, if Samdabi expand to Laos, if it will increase the total rubber plantation area and lead to the increase and supply of the rubber to the rubber markets to satisfy the increasing demand. Then it will increase the revenue and profit of Samdabi.
Malaysia in the rubber industry has achieved a significant milestone and was ranked as the world's third largest producer and also the exporter of natural rubber, as well as the largest consumer of the rubbers. The manufacturers of rubber in Malaysia was made up of local smallholders, plantation, multinationals, and joint ventures with several other countries. So Samdabi Berhad was one of the noteworthy rubber producers recognized globally, and it also plays an important role in the rubber plantation industry. Although the current joint venture in the rubber plantation industry in Indochina was headed by Malaysia, but it only plays a role of figurehead in the organization despite of having a 55% of stake of equity and has no individual representing in the board of directors. Okay. So since the current board of the joint venture was headed by Vietnamese, thus to achieve a sustainability in all areas and all aspects, restructuring of the board is required by including an equal ratio of all individuals in this context, all representative for country that was involved in the joint venture, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. The past stereotyping and misconceptions should also be left aside and work together towards the mission and vision to achieve the corporate goals, such as maximizing the profits and sustainability. So the diversified board of joint venture should include the potential Cambodian and Laotians, as they will be the individual who understand the most of the operating part in the rubber plantation. So Malaysia as the highest share equity holder should also involve its personnel in the board despite of only becoming the figurehead controller and actively participating in the management. So it will prevent certain issues such as miscommunication or overpowering of certain parties within the organization or the joint venture. So this So this allows Samdabi to receive the first-hand updates to conquer any issue arise within the organization and resolve through their broad experiences in the rubber plantation industry. So the diversified board will allow a better and effective decision-making and strategy crafting.
In terms of corruption, due to the power centralization of Lao government, where there is only one legal party, Laotian People Revolutionary Party, for Samdabi to join the market in Laos, Samdabi might expose to high possibility of occurring of corruption. because the government holds full power of the business market, and those who refuse to play along will not sustain in the market. To counter possible consequences arise by political issue, we suggest that SIMW can take some precautions before entering the market. For one, buy a political insurance to counter potential macro political risk. Besides, SIMW should diversify their investments on other countries or stock options so that they can offset the loss arise from political risk, political shifting. To fulfill increasing market, SIMW can invest in research and development to implement new technologies in their plantation. For example, implementing automatic rubber tapping system, ARTS, and rim flow method where minimum resources is needed to maximize the outcome. To counter ethical issues, SIMW can introduce a new set of code ethics customized based on the culture in Laos.